Freakier Friday, the new installment of Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis. This film is where nostalgia is done right. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, Jedi Mike here, and I'm back with another video. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the highly anticipated sequel of Freakier Friday, starring Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis, returning in their iconic roles. The film goes as follows. Tess and Anna discovers the lightning may indeed strike twice as they navigate the myriad challenges that comes when two families merge. Now, as we all know, but a long-awaited sequel and potential reboot is always hit or miss. I will say, as a person who grew up with the original Freaky Friday, this is where nostalgia actually is good. And actually, it's really timely in terms of what's going on in the world right now between mothers and daughters, parents and children. And this is where a sequel actually solidifies itself as a step up in terms of storytelling than the first film. Because I will say this, that as a fan of Jamie Lee Curtis and as a fan of Lindsay Lohan, I was very happy to see them return back in their iconic roles in Freaky Friday, now Freakier Friday. This film, I'd say honestly, is great. And I mean great in terms of not just great as oh yeah, maybe it might be a popcorn flick. No, go see this film in the theater. If you are part of the generation that grew up with Freaky Friday, this film is for you. If you are a mother, daughter, and you want to go to see this film, a family film, this is a great story. And this is one that I felt for Disney. This has been a while since we actually had a good sequel of a long way sequel of original film that we had in quite a while. I will say that some of the performance here was very, very good. We see these characters now evolved now into their now present life. You know, we have Jamie Lee Curtis now, who's a grandmother, and Lindsay Lohan, who's now a mother herself. And now an opportunity presents itself where they end up finding a potential partner and actually beginning engaged and merging families. But really the story centers around where her daughter and her soon-to-be stepdaughter, Harper, and her stepdaughter Lily. And I will say these two actresses, Sophia and also Julia, they did a fantastic job in terms of just playing, you know, yes, the focal point of these characters, and yes, you mainly focus on Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, but these daughters now, and also in high school, in the same point that Lindsay Lohan was in the original film, we're now seeing these two people do not like each other, and basically in a situation where both their parents are merging their lives, and and then one wants to leave the country and one wants to stay in California. And we see a bunch of situations that occur when these two girls do not get along, and this is where we come with Jamie Lee Curtis, Tess, as a grandmother who now just wants to be heavily involved in her granddaughter's life and her daughter's life, giving anywhere she can give a helping hand as a therapist, right? But Lindsay Lohan, Anna, I will say this was very good to see Lindsay Lohan in a role, and especially a role that she enjoys being in, because we just recently saw her at a cameo in Mean Girls. But with this, you feel that she's enjoying coming back in this. And I've seen so many times when we've seen long, like 10 plus year sequels of trying to rehash that lightning that was the first film. But this, you actually see a film that evolved and matured with its audience. Now some of the people that watch the original film are parents themselves. I myself and Mary, down the road, children right around the corner. And I'm like, this film is one of those films that mature with its audience, with the story that it's telling. Because now you're seeing Anna struggling, having a relationship with her own daughter, Harper. And I think that those dynamics was very well. I think the screenplay and the dialogue here was written very well in terms of younger and older audiences. Definitely you see some jokes there that will actually be very entertaining for people when they go see this film. I will say that in terms of the trailers don't do this film justice. I was not expecting much from this film whatsoever, but this film definitely, as you get into, especially into the climax of the film and going into the third act, it brings that nostalgia feel, but also a very human and pure story about mothers and daughters and also just about love and acceptance, trying to let go of your own selfish desires and actually realize that what you might not be what you want, but especially what you need, which is family, right? Having the sister you never had, right? Maybe dealing with trauma and abandonment issues and stuff, because you're afraid of dealing with those traumas yourself, and which reveal area in your life that you probably need to heal from, right? And I love that we've seen Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis again going back to these roles, but their bodies are switching, and you seeing that again they're in a different situation, but very familiar in terms of the original film, and them just having fun in these wacky situational humor situations and everything. And I felt that they did a really good job in terms of having a good balance and pacing that kept the story going, where we're leading to this wedding into this third act with Lindsay Lohan's character. And also a shout out to the actor that plays Eric, Manny Jacinto. He was also in The Acolyte as well, but he is a fantastic actor, and I love what he added into this film in terms of that chemistry with Lindsay Lohan's character Anna. And it was very good to see there that chemistry. You also get returning characters such as Jake, played by Chad Michael Murray, and again you have those fun interactions there. But it is smart nostalgia, and what I mean smart nostalgia is that it's not just throwing out one-liners or some situations from the first film that it bring back that just for the hell of it, right? No, there's some things that when those moments do come, it's earned, especially in the third act with you going into the music. One of my negatives of this film that some of the humor in the first act doesn't work quite as well. Again, you're getting your feet wet, trying to bring you back into this world of Freaky Friday, and again, it takes a little bit of adjusting to, and also in this new age, especially for Gen Z. Gen Z might be laughing, but some of the millennials and older generation probably be like, that wasn't really funny. But today, and just a climate that we're in, that some people will get those jokes, but for others, for adults, when pertaining to Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis, their jokes is also hilarious, but it's also target to the audience that grew up with the original film, who are now parents themselves, or in their late 20s, early 30s, right? And one thing I will say in the entirety of this film, that it just if it's a feel-good story, but I gotta say the shout out to this film really was Lindsay Lohan. Again, I just want to say, as a fan of her, again, watching her in my childhood and also her childhood as well, it's very good seeing her in the role that she enjoys doing, but also is very edifying, and just in the position that she is in life and everything. And she just looks fantastic. Everything that she's overcame and stuff into this point, and seeing her in Mean Girls in this film, it was very I was very happy to see her enjoying herself in this film. But also Jamie Lee Curtis, again, now Academy Award winning actress, right? Jamie Lee Curtis, anytime she's on screen, it's a treat. She adds another interesting dynamic, being a grandmother, and also it's bestowing wisdom to some of the younger characters, especially when they're going through their trials and situations that they literally experienced in the first film. Now these younger girls are experiencing it themselves, right? And I felt that this film really did a good job of establishing that for a new generation to go back to the original film and enjoy it for what it is, but also people who've grown up and watch it. This film is also for you, for your children, for mothers, for your daughters, and for yourself as well. Women that are also in their careers and everything, and now also dealing with the struggles of being a parent, a single parent to be in fact, right? And for Disney to do that, this is what Disney is strong at doing, is doing stories that is targeted to the human experience. And much as comedy and everything and stuff happen, at the end of the day, this is a story about people trying to love each other, trying to care about each other, but have a difficult way of experiencing it because they have inner demons or inner struggles in themselves. And again, sometimes the way to combat that is not doing it alone, and actually embracing those issues and connecting with people that you might not think, oh, I hate this person. They end up being your best friend at the end of the day, right? This is about human connection, but really to mothers and daughters, this film is for you. Honestly, I will say that for Disney, I'm glad they won't put this on Disney Plus. This is a film they should go see in the theaters, which will be coming out this Friday. So make sure you check out Freakier Friday, which is coming a theater near you. All right, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.